Hello class, this is a video continuing on calculating the original amounts by the unitary method. In the previous video we saw how how the method is applied. All we are doing now in these next 6 examples are just worded problems of the same method. So here we go. It says here, an iPhone was bought for this price at a 12% discount. So now this means that this amount is already a 12% discount. So if we were to do the whole subtraction, so 100 minus 12, this amount is 88%. So 88% is this amount. And so now we just do the unitary method. We find 1%, and again we do that by dividing by 88. And so we divide the right hand side as well by 88. So 1144 divide 88. This gives us 13. And from here we want to find the original amount of finding the 100%. And we do that by multiplying by that 100. So 13 times 100, $1,300. And so the original amount was $1,300. Let's move on to the next one. It says that a car made 37% profit on a price of this amount here. So this means that this amount already has the 37% profit. This means that if we, once again, 100% plus the 37% profit, this is 137%. Now to contrast this with this method here, I'm going to do the other method and do this as a decimal. 137% as a decimal is 1.37. This is equal to 24,660. And so the 100%, we get that by dividing this by 1.37. And so we divide the other side by 1.37 as well. So 24,660 divided by 1.37. That gives us the original value of 18,000. So the original value is 18,000. Now, if you had done the other method, finding the 1% first, you should definitely get the same amount here. Now remember, I'm just showing you these two different methods. Whichever you do is, it will get the same result. So let's move on to the next example. So once again, it says Adam's business net worth is up 8% to $137,160 from last year. So once again, this means that this amount already has that 8% increase. So this indicates that this is 108%. It's the original amount with the 8%. So this is equal to the amount that we are given. Once again, we can find 1% and then find the 100. So that means we divide by 108 and then times by the 100. We can divide by 108 to find that 1% and then times by that 100. So using our calculator, 137,160 divide by 108. That gives us 1270. And we take this amount and we multiply that by the 100. 127, 3 zeros. So the original value was $127,000. Okay, let's move on to the next. Beth sold her shares for this amount at a 11% loss. Once again, not to be confused, this amount already has the 11% loss. So 100 minus that 11% loss is 89%. And once again, just to do this as a decimal instead of a percentage, 0.89, that is the amount that we currently have. So 166.430. And we want to find the 1. We do this by dividing by 0.89 on both sides. 0.89. And then from here, so 166.430 divided by 0.89. The original amount is 1870. Once again, you can choose whichever method you prefer. You will get the same amount for each of them. All right, so let's do the last set of examples here. In these last sets of examples, it's the exact same thing, but it's just an extra layer that I'm showing you that it's 2 consecutive years. So on top of this, we have to do consecutive percentage changes. So here we go. For 2 years in a row, Charles improved by 10% each year. His score now is 84.7. So in this case, let's say that the original amount is X. If we improve this by 10%, remember to improve by 10% is just multiplying by 1.1. This is the first year improvement. But since this happens 2 years in a row, we're going to multiply this again by 1.1. So let's just take a look. Let's take a look when we do that 1.1 times 1.1. 1.1 times 1.1. 1.21. So this is going to give us 1.21x. So we're showing you now that the original amount has been improved by 21%. See? 1.21. So using our original method, we can say that now 121% is equal to that 84.7. And once again from here, we can find that 1%. We do that by dividing by 121, so 84.7 divided by 121. This gives us 0.7. And so that 100%, we just take this, and multiply that by the 100. This gives us 70. So Charles, his original score is 70. And for the final example, it says Dan lost 2% in 1 year and 5% the previous year. And he currently weighs 81%. So in this case, this is a consecutive percentage loss. And remember how we do that is we have an original and we multiply this by the first loss. So a 2% loss minus 2, we are finding 98%. So 0.98. That is the first loss. And then the next loss, we are finding, 100 minus 5. That gives us 95%. If we multiply just those percentages, 0.98 times 0.95, that gives us 0.931x. Well, we are now just going to find his original amount. Okay, so this means 0.931 This is the current weight of 81 kilograms. And we want to find the original 1%. Oh, well, not 1%, sorry, 100%. We do this by dividing each side by that value there. 931. So 81 divided by 0.931. That gives us 87.00000, which we're just going to round to 87 kilograms. So Dan's original weight 2 years ago was just 87 kilograms. So I hope that gave you an insight, once again, into finding the original values using the unitary method. Hope to see you in the next video, and best of luck.